Modo 601 by Luxology is a landmark release for this fantastic 3D package. But one feature that didn't make it into 601 is native support for audio. So we wrote a plugin that enables audio within 601 called Audio Ape. Hi, I'm Dave, and in this video I'm going to show you how to install and work with the Audio Ape plugin. To begin, download the plugin from our website at aptasticgames.com. You can pay whatever you want and decide how much goes towards development or one of the great charities we support. So once you've downloaded the plugin, unzip it. We need to copy the Audio Ape directory into your Modo user config folder. An easy way to find the config folder is to go into Modo and go to the System menu, Open User Configs folder, and it will take you to that directory. If you're upgrading Audio Ape from a previous version, you'll need to delete any existing Audio Ape directory first. Then copy the whole Audio Ape directory that you've unzipped into the user config folder. When you next run Modo, under the Setup or Animate tabs, you'll see a new tab on the sidebar for Audio Ape, below Recoil. So let's get started right away and load an audio file. As an example, we'll use Jonathan Coulton's great song, Code Monkey. We use Modo's timeline controls to play.
Code Monkey, get up, get coffee. Code Monkey, go to job.
Stop. And play in reverse. We can also hold down the mouse button and scrub the timeline.
Code Monkey, get up, get coffee. Get up, get coffee.
So let's take a moment now and look over here in Modo's item list. You'll see that when we loaded the sound file, a locator was created called Audio Ape. The locator is used so that your audio information will be saved along with your scene. If you delete or rename the Audio Ape locator item, the audio settings for the scene will be lost. There are 3 user channels in the locator: audio file name, audio offset frames, and audio volume. The user channels correspond to the buttons on the sidebar. If you use the sidebar button, Playback Offset, it will store the offset in the locator's Audio Offset Frames channel. And when you use the sidebar button to set volume level, it will store that value in the locator's Audio Volume channel. So the buttons in the Audio Ape sidebar are just giving you a quick way to set the values for the locator. This means that you don't have to go hunting for the Audio Ape locator in your item list. You can always set the values just using the sidebar buttons. But if you want, you can also go to the locator user channels and set the values directly. Whether you use the sidebar buttons or change the values directly in the locator user channels, the result is the same. Now let's take a closer look at the Playback Offset feature. This allows you to decide where your audio file should begin playing relative to Modo's timeline. For example, there is some silence at the beginning of the audio. We can scrub to check, and we can hear that there are 23 frames of silence at the beginning. So if we wanted the sound to start right away at frame 0, we can offset the audio back by minus 23 frames. Now when we play, the sound starts immediately.
Code Monkey, get up, get coffee.
Let's say we wanted to delay the sound for 3 seconds. Since our timeline is currently set to 24 frames per second playback, we need to delay by 3 times 24 frames, so an offset of 72 frames. But we also know that there are already 23 frames of silence at the beginning, so we don't want to offset the audio as much. If we don't want to calculate all this in our head, we can let Modo do it for us. So 3 times 24 frames minus 23. As we can see, the offset has been calculated for us to 49. Now when we play, the sound doesn't start until frame 72, or 3 seconds into the timeline.
Code Monkey, get up, get coffee.
Next, let's take a look at volume level. The volume level is used to adjust for audio files that play too quietly or too loudly. So if we set volume to 50%, the audio will play back half as loud.
Code monkey go to job.
We should only really need to set this value once, because it isn't intended for adjusting the listening volume. For that, you would use your standard volume controls in your operating system, as you would when listening to music generally. The next button, Audio Ape Settings, has two functions. We can check this box to enable or disable the plugin. If we uncheck this box, sound will be disabled when we play back. Let's re-enable the plugin. Smoothing frames defines how many frames the algorithm in Audio Ape will consider for processing sound. You generally shouldn't have to change this value from the default of 48, but it can be changed to smooth out the fluctuations in pitch that result as Modo's timeline playback speed varies. If you want to experiment, we recommend using values in the range between 24 and 120. A value of 120, for example, will create higher processing demands on your system, but may result in smoother playback, and require playback of 5 seconds of audio at 24 frames per second before performance enhancements are audible. Finally, we have a new feature in the latest release of Audio Ape called Save Audio Range, and we'll take a look at this feature when we do some animation tests. So let's do a very basic example of sync animation. We'll load up a scene in which we've already got some audio, music from one of our children's games. Let's listen.
Put on your spacesuit. We're going to the moon.
We want to make the ball bounce on the words as they are sung. So let's scrub the timeline by holding down the mouse button to find the first word, put. We'll key the position of the ball on that word. And then we'll go on to the next word.
Put on your space, your space. We're going to put on your spacesuit. We're going to the moon.
Now that we have the ball keyed on each word at the right time, we'll go back and key some height to give the ball a bounce.
we're going to the
Finally, we'll key the ball off the screen. Let's watch the result.
Put on your spacesuit. We're going to the moon.
In order to see an accurate representation of the animation, we'll want to render a video. We can do this using Modo's render system, or for a quick preview, we're going to right-click in the viewport and select Record OpenGL to Movie. We choose a name and save location, and Modo will use the OpenGL viewport to play blast a movie. To create an audio file matching the animation range set in the timeline, we just select the Save Audio Range button from the Audio Ape sidebar and provide a name for the audio file. Now we can combine the video and audio using video editing software or free programs such as Apple's QuickTime Player, Microsoft's Windows Live Movie Maker, or Videoland's VLC Media Player. Since we're on a Mac, I'm going to use QuickTime. I've opened the movie file we've saved with QuickTime Player and then drag and drop the audio onto it. We can now hear the result.
Put on your spacesuit. We're going to the moon.
When we close the window, we have the option to save a movie with the merged audio included.
Put on your spacesuit. We're going to the moon.
One last note. To see some great examples of Audio Ape in action for character lip sync, Chris Provine has posted some videos, so look for those in the Audio Ape thread on the Modo user forums. We hope you will enjoy using Audio Ape, and thanks for watching.